Welcome back to another episode of the Lunch Table Podcast. I'm joined as always by my very lovely co-host,
Travis Patrick.
And today we have a really good episode for you. We have a really fun guest on. We've been chatting with him for the last 30 minutes, and we couldn't stop laughing. It's going to be a great episode.
It's going to be a good one.
And as you guys can tell, we're not in our normal set. We're actually in my room. We threw this together really fast because Travis is in the process of moving right now. So his house is
a disaster.
because
Full of boxes.
Because of
Moving?
his wife.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
but oh yeah, we got our merch. Merch is finally in. Thank you to everyone who got stuff. Mostly family and a few friends and wives.
We'll be delivering those this week.
Very shortly. Yeah. So we appreciate that. So without further ado, Travis, you ready to get into this episode?
Let's get into it, buddy.
All right, everyone. This week, our guest is probably one of the funniest guys we know. We grew up with him, went to school with him since K through 12. Mm-hmm. We've known him for a long time. He'll eat just about anything you give him, and he'll slide further than anybody you know. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know yet, it's Brandon Young.
Woo!
What is up, y'all?
What's going on, buddy?
Oh, just having my breakfast.
What is that?
My favorite is banana peel. I don't even eat that other crap that comes with it. It ain't
Right.
worth having.
No.
Yeah.
He just buys them for the banana peel.
Where all the nutrition is, guys.
He did tell us before that he was eating, just snacking on some tubes of chapstick before just his morning breakfast,
Yeah,
Is this pregame snack?
Yes, pregame snack after my breakfast. I forgot about the chapstick. It just comes so natural. Cherry flavor's still my favorite.
He never gets chapped lips. I think that's where you're using it wrong.
We should have brought him a watermelon.
I know. He would have destroyed that.
Oh, I looked for one, but they don't sell them at TG.
Oh, man. So how you been?
I've been pretty good. Just, working, making money.
Right. So what's new? Like, you're working. Where are you working at?
I'm working at Casey's in York making pizza.
That's fun. You enjoy that?
Oh, it's got its days.
Right.
Some nights we're real busy, and other nights it's like slow as heck. So
Right.
Yeah.
I can't take him seriously. Dude, that's no cramps, nothing.
No.
No chapped lips, no cramps, all potassium.
That's a unit.
good for your bones or something like that.
He doesn't drink the milk, he eats the jug.
He's
Now you're starting to get it.
trying to end the plastic waste.
Right. Someone's got to do it.
Yeah.
Instead of in the oceans, they're in his system.
It's good enough for the fish. It's good enough for me.
All right. Well, are we ready? Do you have anything you would like to tell anybody? Shout out anybody?
Shout out to Miss Mueller. You're a real one.
Yep.
I know you were here. I watched your episode. Really great. Loved it, by the way.
Awesome.
Love you, by the way.
We all do.
Buy more pizza so I can see you more.
Next one's on me.
No.
Oh.
I don't make that much money.
All right. Travis, go ahead. Introduce our favorite segment.
All right. Today, as always, on every episode, we got 5 real questions, 5 real answers with 3 real people. And
Thanks, Brandon.
I was late to the party there.
let's get this thing kicking. You ready?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Brandon, first question. What was a highlight of yours from high school?
I think one of my favorite things was the way that Weston every day would come into school wearing a white t-shirt, jeans, and I think it was white tennis shoes.
Yep.
And it was like every day, all of high school. But I think there was like one time that I ever saw him without a white t-shirt on, and it was just like the same exact thing, but a graphic tee. I want to say it might have been a Sherwood shirt during like Spirit Week. I'm not sure, but it was just the consistency was hilarious. He looked like he was going to a job in the 1950s. He looked like a greaser.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because when we were in gym classes with him, you would think he would bring other stuff, but he just always brought a white shirt, black pants.
Oh, he had,
black shorts.
No, he had black shorts for gym.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He always got another white shirt,
Yeah.
some black pants, and then just his tennis shoes. But it was always tucked in.
Yeah.
Remember how he always had his pencil? And that kid was so cool. Well, one of my favorite moments from him has to have been like, every time I went to a class, he just brought energy that probably wasn't needed, but was deserved. I don't know if that makes sense, but like, this guy would just hype up the class. Like, when he ate that full watermelon, I have videos, and it was just, he was going to town, and that just hyped me up. Like, maybe I want to eat a full watermelon. I don't remember where we got it, because it was mine. I think we got it from Ag, but I just remember bringing it to class, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. And Brandon's like, I'll eat the whole thing, the green part and all. And I'm like,
yeah, I had a little trouble getting it started at first. I think I had to like use a plastic spoon to
Yeah.
kind of carve out a spot because your teeth just slide right off.
yeah.
'Cause I tried to corn cob it.
Have you learned a better technique since then?
No,
Just
I haven't.
still.
Typically, I just slice them now.
Travis got it.
I'll never forget when he took like oranges, bro. He'd eat like an apple.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
rind.
Because that's actually the worst part. Like, I'd probably be fine eating the the watermelon part and the banana, but the orange, like every time I like,
Always
I
got
just
like a chemical
super bitter.
texture. It has a nasty. The peel just tastes nasty.
Right.
But have you ever thought about taking an onion and just eating
Ew.
an onion?
I don't
I've,
like onions.
I've seen
Okay.
I've seen people.
There's a line.
on the social media. Just take like they'll peel like the outside of them and just eat them like an apple.
Nope.
Yeah,
Nope.
no, I can't do onions that way. It gives me heartburn.
Old
That's
man
from experience.
problems.
So, what's like? Actually, we'll save that for the question. I was gonna ask. That's fine. I'll save it for the next one. But and then another thing he used to do, as we talked about in Jana's, is that we would make not like bets, but we would stand somewhere in the hall and we'd see how far he'd slide. I think that was 1 or 2 times,
Yeah.
and he would get a full sprint, and he had a line.
You won.
Did I?
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I won $10,000 off that bet. At a
Well,
third.
what was it? You got to like choose. Oh man.
It was one of the tiles because they're the red tiles in the hallway.
Yeah,
right.
but you got to. You could choose between like what we were gonna do or something. I can't remember.
I forgot too.
Dude, that was the prime of life.
I think Jana.
Was it a pizza? We got a pizza party.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
We got a
were
pizza
going
party
to,
and
we were gonna do something fun, and she was like, "Hey, if you win, you get to choose."
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, we did a pizza. I think we did a pizza party, and it was not like elementary where they cut the slices so thin. She gave us full pieces of pizza.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was nice. Ugh,
Well,
so many great memories with it.
I don't remember, but I remember this from John's episode. Were you in the remember when we did like that dance for like homecoming or whatever? Like all of us seniors
Oh yeah, I think I was
choreographed the
because-
dance.
Yeah.
because we had the plan where I jumped out and did like the
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, okay, yeah.
the sexy dance.
And then freaking one of the underclassmen messed up our audio because Hallie made the
Yes, I
the
remember,
song,
yeah.
so we had to restart, and we were just kind of standing there in the court, and then we just whooped everyone's butt.
Speaking of that dance, I have to make an admission about that dance.
Oh no.
So I've told a couple people this, but I've always tried to keep it on the down low because I didn't want someone to beat the crap out of me.
We're revealing that today
I feel safe now. This is a safe space.
that you
So-
know of.
The way I started doing that dance was because I saw Chelsea Collins doing it. And she was like, I was at a dance, and she was like the only one doing it. So I just stood like 10 feet behind her doing what she was doing.
That's so fun. I did not know that.
And then, like, everybody seemed to enjoy it, so it just became a staple.
I remember
when I
that.
did it.
He would do it all the time. Like, no music. He would just go.
Yeah, I do that at work. If you ever come into Casey and York, you might see me in the back just going like dancing.
Do the Chelsea Collins.
The legend still lives on.
That's awesome.
Which, Chelsea, if you ever see this, I'm really sorry that I did that. But it was funny.
I think it's just all in good fun. Hopefully, she doesn't
Yeah,
take it the wrong way.
It was in good faith. In good
Right.
fun.
Actually, I think this would be really good to ask. How did, we all graduated together. How did COVID affect you? Because you didn't want to go to school after high school, did you?
No, I would. Well, I thought about it, but then I changed my mind about it pretty much. I was like, I don't really want to put all the time and money into it just to not end up using it.
Right. So how did COVID really affect you? Like, did you just, accept it and just start working, or did it kind of scare you? Like, what you didn't really know what you were gonna do because no one was really hiring, no one could go anywhere. Like,
It sort of kept me from getting a job for a little while because like you're saying, it was all the regulations and stuff. I won't get into like the politics of COVID or anything because I know that's not what this podcast is about.
Appreciate
that. to keep it brief on that, I didn't like all of the mask regulations and stuff.
No.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't want to work somewhere if I've got to spend 8 hours a day with a cotton mask on my face, chafing and everything.
Hell yeah.
So
it was the worst.
When I did get into working, it was actually kind of towards the tail end where like the year after where they were starting to kind of lessen all that stuff.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Well, if I remember correctly, I think I know we don't want to get into the COVID stuff, but I think one of the first cases around our area was in Erie, like over by the lumberyard or something. Like an older guy had died from it.
Yeah, it was, man, I know his name. He was my grandma's neighbor. And, oh, man, now I don't remember his name because it's been Alan.
Yes.
And,
shout out, Alan.
Shout out. Hope you feel better.
Oh, God.
No, I mean, like, I hope you feel better.
He's dead.
Oh, no.
Dude doesn't feel better. He's dead.
Well, he does feel better if you think about it. Like, I did not know that, so sorry. I guess he's not watching.
It was one of the first cases in our area was him, and it was like, a total fail there, by the way.
Oh, you're good.
Went to adjust the mic, but,
I did it too.
But yeah, there was a party, and I didn't even know he went to bars. Like, I didn't know he was cool like that.
He's built different.
Well, he thought he was built different.
Dude, chill. Back-to-back episodes.
He was like a 50 or 60-year-old man, and he's going to bar parties. I'm like, man, I could have chilled with this guy. Like, what?
Damn.
I mean, my grandma got a privacy fence put up because of how much she didn't like this.
Oh, no. You're just partying too hard. Golly.
Maybe your grandma had something to do with Alan's death.
Golly. All right.
Damn. You ever thought about being a detective over there in Sherlock?
It was her. Why? I don't know. It just seems like it would be her.
It was Colonel Mustard in the library with a nightstick.
It was Grandma Shirley at the bar.
Grandma Shirley at the bar with the COVID. It's just like a roofie just dropping.
It's like a
Shout out Aaron McCutcheon. There's an inside joke. He didn't do that. I don't think.
I was going to say, what the hell
No.
does that mean?
All right. We're just going to get right back on topic, everybody. So, Brandon, how are you? We talked about it when you came on. How are you able to eat all these things you aren't supposed to eat? And how do you, not react to it? Because you do it with such a straight face.
See, that's the thing, is I want you to know when I do this, that is not pleasant.
So you do it for the fame.
For everyone at home, we did not make him do this. He came on ready with. He's like, I brought a banana for the exact reason you thought. Perfect.
So
how are you able to do it?
Pretty much, I just started doing it until I could ignore it. But like bananas, for me, they're really bitter. They're a lot like an orange peel. They're really bitter, and they make your mouth feel weird and dry.
Dry, yes.
Yes, I hate that.
And it's like, right now, if I rub my tongue against the roof of my mouth, it's like sandpaper.
Oof.
Yeah.
Is how it feels. So, it's actually terrible. Now, watermelons, I believe watermelon rinds taste like cucumber.
Yes.
Yeah, I
feel
agree.
the same way.
I always eat the white part before the rind.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say I ate the rind, but I've accidentally I've ate the white when I was eating a
You
watermelon.
get too much of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I occasionally have got some of the green rind sometimes, but I never sat down just to
To eat that.
eat the rind and
The
throw
watermelon's just gone. It's just the rind. It's 10:23 in the morning. He's just like the neighbor.
Alan taught you well.
Sponsored by Bush.
I wish. Oh my gosh, I wish.
Brandon, you're a character, dude.
gets down. Dude,
We gotta party sometime, man.
No, when I drink, I'll chug like 2 or 3 beers, and then I'll sip on a few more, because I found that when you get 2 or 3 in you, for me, it's just enough. It gets you like right there where you're having fun, and then if you just kind of sip on a few beers after that,
just
you
kinda
kind of
keeps
keep it going.
Yeah. So, what I do is I just drink to forget, but I always remember. So that's not ideal. No? You don't have that goal?
No.
No. It's from a Brandon Rogers video. I'm surprised you didn't pick up on that.
I haven't watched Brandon
You hear
Rogers
he
in
voice acts
years.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
On that, I
Oh,
saw
you
him
don't
on
know that.
No, I've heard about it.
That hell of a boss on YouTube, man.
Really?
Yeah, he's it's like edgy 12-year-old humor. It's great. That's like right up my alley.
So, if you had to pick one thing, like what would you put at the top of your? What's your worst, your least favorite thing to do that? I mean, I know you don't have to, but you still do it. Like what's your least favorite thing to eat whole, and then what's your favorite? Like honestly.
I think. Now I've got recently into eating raw potatoes.
A lot of people do that.
And yeah, so I started doing it. Those are pretty good. I think like halfway through the potato, it's kind of like a bottle of vodka. Halfway through, you start to go, man, this is a mistake, but I gotta finish it. But I think my least favorite would probably be grapefruit, because it's a lot like an orange, but instead of the inside being sweet, the inside is kind of bitter and sour.
So it kind of just matches and goes together.
Yeah, so it kind of bundles together in one big ball of suck.
Interesting.
My favorite.
Embrace the suck.
Embrace the suck.
Yeah, you got to sometimes. I think watermelon is still my favorite thing to eat whole, because I like watermelon and I like cucumbers, and the rind tastes like a cucumber.
Right.
The only unpleasant part about a watermelon is the very outside rind is too crunchy.
Yeah.
Right.
Other than that, it's like good to go.
If we can find that video, I can just mute it and put it right here. Brandon eating the. I'll put it right here. Brandon eating the water. It was so funny because he's like eating it and like laughing. And he's like genuinely enjoying it, because everyone around us, everyone's just circled around him. I remember, I think one of the videos, you hear Hallie just dying because she's just like, I've never seen this before.
It's like going to a zoo and just like staring at the animals as Brandon's over there just munching on
He's sliding and eating stuff.
Yeah.
Wait, have
I
you?
think that was in Schlichter's class, 7th hour, and I was trying to rush through it.
No, that was Mueller's.
Was it
It
Mueller's?
was Mueller's, yeah.
No, I think I got it in Mueller's, but I finished it in Schlichter's.
Yeah.
Oh, you finished it in Schlichter, so
Yeah.
it took you about, what, 50, how long class was 51 minutes, 50?
Yeah.
So it took you about an hour.
Yeah.
It was a big watermelon,
It
too.
was a pretty decent sized watermelon. I think at the end of the day, I had to give a couple pieces away to people that weren't too afraid of the fact I'd munched on it.
Slobbered all.
I couldn't get it ate in time because I was like, man, I'm full. I had a big lunch. I was like, I don't know if I can finish this. And everyone's like, oh, I'll take a piece. At first, like, screw you guys, it's mine. I'm like, okay, I'll share.
Have you ever thought, or not thought, have you ever tried like cantaloupe? Like the outside of
I
the
have
cantaloupe?
not tried the outside of a
It's
cantaloupe.
intimidating.
What about kiwi?
Kiwi?
I feel like that'd be like
The
a
fuzzy
hairball,
one?
yeah.
I've never tried the outside of a kiwi. I don't really like kiwi that much. It kind of makes my mouth go numb. I don't know if I've got like an allergy.
It must be allergic to
Yeah.
it.
It kind of like burns a little bit. It's almost
Oh,
like,
no.
What's that?
I said, oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Your throat starts closing up.
Yeah, it burns.
I gotta
It's hard
finish.
to breathe.
I'm halfway there, but I gotta finish it.
Yeah, it's terrible. I'm not a huge fan of kiwi. I don't think I'd like that hairy texture, though.
What about strawberries? Do you just eat the whole thing? Like
Oh,
the
yeah.
stem?
That's
the
what I
stem
do.
stuff.
You eat the stem?
I mean, if I am like outside, then I'll pull it off. If I'm inside, I'm not just gonna keep on
That's true.
pulling off and make it pile
it's
throw
got-
away. It's just like
It's got
lettuce.
kind of a particular taste to it. It's kind of like lettuce or
Yeah.
Well, I just felt like, I always feel like, because I'll do it sometimes, like you said, if you're outside with it, or, sometimes they'll get stuck to it and I'll just eat it. I feel like it's just so, like, that bittery taste, or the dries your mouth, like the roof of it. I don't know, maybe I'm allergic to strawberry stems.
No, I understand what you're saying. It kind of dries you out
Right.
as well.
Right.
It's not
It's not meant to be eating, but it's not
Yeah.
against it.
It's not going to kill you, but
No. If it would have, you wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah.
You've done it all. All right, Trev.
All right, next question. What is your main goal in life, Brandon?
Right now, I'd still kind of like to get into doing some writing or something like that. I've kind of not been super great about doing it, but, you know, through high school, I wanted to do, like, writing. That's why I was in a bunch of the writing classes. I wanted to do, like, radio stuff. Never ended up doing that because it's one of those things you need a college degree for. Well, don't need it, but, you know, it helps. And it was one of those things where it's a degree in communications. And the only thing I know about that really uses that is radio stuff. So it's kind of like, for me, either you go all the way in. Can I have one of those?
Yeah, go for it.
I'll trade you one of mine.
No, you're good. You need another one?
I'm good, bud.
No, just kidding, Faith. I don't want to get him in trouble.
For me, it was either go full bore into it, like 100%, or not at all. So I ended up going not at all. But on the writing, I've been wanting to get into it. I've had ideas kick around. They don't really stay around too long. But, you know, one of these days I'm going to strike it big. And I'm going to shout out the Lunch Table Podcast.
Let's go.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go. No, we'll definitely, dude, if you get a book written or whatever, we will have the book and we'll shout you out on the pod.
In that case, I'll make sure it's like something that makes 50 Shades of Grey look tame.
Oh, God.
So, with that, you know, what genre are you really, like, thinking? Or, like, what really, you know, is your style?
Well, I think my idea that made it the furthest was a fantasy setting following a necromancer who's trying to become a lich, which is like, basically you tie your soul to an object that can't be destroyed and then you become immortal.
Okay.
So, but the thing is, they made it so far as to remove their soul from their body. It kind of just looks like a little silvery orb. And they're trying to find artifacts left over from other ancient liches that were killed. I don't know if I pronounced that right. It's Lich. I pronounce it lich. To perfect the process so they can tie their soul to an object. But the problem was I wasn't sure entirely where to go from there. Because I wanted them to, like, go into a mountain and find the corpse of a god and be like, oh, yo, fucking god. But I'm not 100% sure about that. But that was the one that made it the furthest because I wrote, like, the first couple chapters and then they got lost and I don't know where they were.
Oh.
Shoot, start again. I mean, if you remember it, it means it's worth it to you.
The thing I most clearly remember is in the very first page, they accidentally happened upon a counter spell while they were trying to figure something out, and it, like, melted their brain.
Oh.
But then they came back because their soul wasn't in their body. So their body can come back, but their soul can be destroyed, which is why they're trying to tie it to something.
Right.
Okay.
So, you know, they can die and come back, but if you take a hammer to that little ball, it's over.
Right.
Huh.
Interesting.
So for our fans watching the podcast, and maybe some of them have ideas of maybe becoming a writer, what's something you would tell future writers, even though you're not really a writer, but you've had the ideas.
You still have the ideas.
You've had the rundown.
Ambition to do it. I would say the big thing is if you're gonna write, you can't just write when it's convenient for you. There's no use going, oh, I'll do it later when I feel like it. If you have an idea, and obviously, like, if you're at work or something, you can't stop for 15 minutes to jot something down.
Right.
But in your free time, if you have an idea, don't go, I'll do it later. Make yourself sit down and make yourself write it. Because if you just go, I'll do it later, that is how you procrastinate and you never get it done.
You forget. And I totally get that. That makes a lot of sense. So, do you have a timeline? Basically, like, you know, like, do you want to have, like, this book made by a certain age, or do you want to have it done, like, the next year, or have this be the so far?
I'm pretty loose on the timeline, but I would like to get into some serious writing by the time I'm 30.
Okay.
So within the next, I don't know, I'm 22, so 8 years, I would like to get into where I am hardcore writing on something. It's just right now, I do a lot of stuff outside work, like sleep.
It's needed.
Well, say like my days off are Wednesdays, and then I spend those days with my dad, and then other days that I would normally do it, like, sorry, voice crack.
Oh, you're good.
This thing's really messing with me. I don't do the 6 milligrams.
Oh my!
I got like that burn in my throat.
He's buzzing right now.
Man, between the beer and the
The banana's definitely doing it.
Bananas, dude. Sorry, the peel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, not the banana, the peel.
But
Well, that is the banana, man.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? It didn't even come
Oh, my
to that
bad.
part. But, sorry, what were we talking about?
you said you spend most of your time with your dad.
Oh, yeah, I spent...
On your dad days
Oh,
off.
God, hiccup.
Oh no, you got the Zen hiccups.
I got the Zen hiccups. I spend a lot of time with my dad. Oh, God. Oh, this is terrible. We've made a grave mistake.
Do you want to go spit it out?
No.
Okay.
I gotta tough it out.
Embracing it.
I just bought 6 milligram Zens that I haven't tried yet, so I gotta get used to it. I gotta acclimate.
There you go.
Oh, God. I'm gonna shorten it a little bit. I want to be writing by 2030,
Right.
Okay.
if we're not all dead.
Oh.
Yeah.
Very well.
The way the economy's going, we might be.
Oh, God, yeah, I might. You know, you never know.
Yeah. Who knows?
I'm a big boy. I might starve.
Yeah.
Same. So
I had something in my head. I forgot it.
did
I
so
got
real.
something in my head too. They tell me what to do all the time.
What's their name?
They like you, by the way, Travis.
Oh.
Not a big fan. They're not a big fan of you, Pierce, but
But oh, actually, I did want to ask you this because I think it'd be fun to get Ulysses and Max and a couple
yeah.
others, and like you guys together because we want to do a series where we bring all these friend groups in.
oh yeah.
Yeah. So Ulysses it was Ulysses or Max? They wanted to write a comic.
Yeah.
How's that going for them? And I know I'll ask them again on that, but I just want to know because I've been genuinely
Well,
curious.
I actually am not sure because last I heard, Ulysses was working on it. But this comes to a funny story. So in high school, I was a bit of an asshole.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No,
I don't
let's get it.
know if we.
Yeah,
Can
No, you're
Yeah,
good.
you're
You're good.
I was a bit of a. Well, so Max Owsley and Max Driscoll in high school. And if you guys watch this, I'm sorry if this is like private that I'm not supposed to talk about, but it's a little bit of tea for the podcast. Near the end of high school, I know for a fact they were not huge fans of me. So we didn't really stay connected after high school that much. I kind of was like the loner that went off and found other friends.
Right.
Goddamn. And they kind of stuck together. So I only just recently got back into their friend group because Max Driscoll got me into the card game Magic the Gathering.
Okay.
That nerd stuff.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how we kind of hooked up. I spent thousands
Whoa.
of dollars on it.
Hooked up. No, that is some tea. Hold up. No, no, but yeah, yeah.
That's kind of how we got back to being friends and stuff was that kind of thing. And, Max has told me, like, hey, like, you've changed. You've become a better person. And I'm kind of like, I don't know, man. Like, I kind of feel the same. No.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
I don't feel like I've changed that much.
Yeah.
But he always says, like, yeah, you're like a way better person now than you were back then. I'm like, hey, I appreciate that.
Right.
I don't necessarily agree with you because I don't feel that personal growth, but
Yeah.
I appreciate that you would tell me that I'm a
He
better
sees it and he
person.
told you to your face. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's smart. Nice guy.
And I've always appreciated him because he works at Casey's too, and ever since
Yeah.
I started working there, he's never been afraid to call me out on my BS. Like one time, there was this real big issue with the way I listen to my music at work because we have a speaker, but I don't like to use the speaker, so I play it on my phone. And like I blew the hell up one day. I was like, I don't know why you mother effers won't just let me listen to my effing music. If you don't effing like it, you can use the speaker and you won't even hear my stuff. And then he just said, man, what the fuck? And I'm like, man, I just want to listen to my damn music.
Right.
So now I use the Bluetooth speaker and we don't have any conflict over that. But yeah, I had a few issues when I first started working at Casey's with that. But that's the cool thing is our manager, Carrie, she was really cool about that. She's real big on personal growth. So if she sees an opportunity to make you do better, she'll take it.
That's awesome. That's a good quality in a manager too.
Yeah, so she's really cool about that. It's just corporate screwed us over all the time.
Yeah.
It happens in those big companies.
Yep.
That's awesome. But
as far as getting them on the podcast, though, I know they watch it. Like I told you before, they think it's really funny. They watch
nice.
It and they
shout out you guys. You guys are the best.
Yeah, you guys are cool, by the way. Ulysses didn't really have a problem with me because I don't think Ulysses ever had a problem with anybody.
I don't think so either.
No.
He was so like down to earth and chill.
Laid back.
He was one of them where if you were at Sherwood, you could probably call Ulysses your friend.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which
He was nice to everyone.
Oh yeah, nice. He was smart and he would help you if you asked him. And
which I know it's a sensitive topic about it, but I would like to say that was something I always thought about Mason. Was if you went to Sherwood, he was your friend.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Oh yeah.
And it was like there was nobody that couldn't go to him and be like, "Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?"
Right.
He'd be like,
He talks to everybody.
"Yeah."
Smart kid. No, I feel like that was just with a lot of people, though. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we all... I don't know. I'll speak for myself, but I felt like, everyone... I was cool with everyone. Everyone was cool with me.
Yeah.
So I know I could go to, to you. I can go to Ulysses. Like, people I don't normally talk to or sit with at lunch. But, if I see them out in public, I'll... there's no beef or bad blood. That's what's nice about our small schools.
See, I started to feel that way during high school because, in middle school is when I had a bunch of my problems with people getting mad at me because... I would talk too much, or I'd be annoying, or something. Like Destiny Young. She really. I think the only person I never really reconciled with was Shy Jansen.
That's so weird because that's.
And
I'm not gonna get into it.
If I saw her today, I would just tell her. I'd be like, "Hey, and if you ever watch this, this is to you, Shy. I understand. I was a bit of a rough edge in high school.
Butthead.
Yeah, a little bit of an a-hole. And I understand we never really got along very well, but I'm sorry. I know especially you, Shy, I kind of made a lot of people mad. Like I said, I don't think me and her ever officially reconciled, but for the record, my bad.
Now we need Shy on to settle the beef. Squash it.
We gotta settle this beef.
Right.
Friday night fight night, Shy. Let's go.
Well,
Casey's
a
in
card.
York. You know the time.
Yeah, he's there. But if you do go to do that, order pizza, so it's worth his time.
Yeah. Make your pizza first before you kick my ass.
No, I remember though. You butted heads a lot with people.
Oh, with
but
tons of people.
but for me, I just always found it funny.
See, that was the thing. Was I argued with everybody, and you either found it funny or you hated me.
Right.
It was like Mr. Odell, Adam Odell in 8th grade.
Shout out.
Him constantly. Shout out to him. It was and it got to the point where every time I'd argue with him, he'd play the I win game. He'd be like, I win, you lose. And that was yeah, there was that one time I called him a dick and I got back to him. And then he confronted me in the hallway in front of everybody. I was like, did you call me a dick? And he just said it to me. And it took me so off guard. And I was like, what? And I'm like, man, and I turned it on him. I said, you always tell us to express our opinions. And I'm like, in my opinion, you were being a dick. And I was like, it's...
Fair enough.
I was like, I'm not saying you are one totally, but at the time I felt like you were being rude.
Yeah.
And then he said, okay, well, listen, I won't send you to the principal's office for it if you promise tomorrow in my class you'll do your work and you won't talk. Because that was another thing. I talked a lot. I still talk. And I was like, okay, I'll take that deal. I don't want to go to the principal's office.
Yeah.
This cook don't like me already.
You know what I just remembered? I know it happened a lot in Mueller's class. I'm sure it happened in Slichters and whatnot. But AJ, you take that Germex bottle and you'd smack it.
Oh my god! It
would shoot it, dude.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
Shout out AJ.
You'd be 10 foot across the room and you'd be like, "Hey AJ," you turn around and go,
oh, I made him so mad with that. And then I'd always start saying your mom to him.
Oh yeah, it annoyed him so much.
What does that even mean? That doesn't
Shut
even make
up,
any
dude.
sense.
Shout out AJ.
He's a real one.
He's a real one. He's so funny.
He stopped in at Dollar General one time. I worked at DG because he was traveling through. I think he was home for the weekend, and he was going back to college.
Yeah.
And we get along now. Anytime I've seen him, it's like, hey, what's up? But I ain't seen him since. But if I saw him today, if I saw him outside walking out of your guys' place, I'd
jump him.
Yeah.
Squirt him with Germ-X.
Oh yeah, I drank the Germ-X.
Yeah.
Do that again?
I'd put it in my hair and squirt it in my mouth. Oh, it was terrible.
Carry on.
Yeah, that's it. I'd squirt the Germ-X in my mouth. I'd put it all up in my hair.
Oh yeah, I remember that stuff. He'd do anything, and he would do. Okay, the thing is though, he would do it for free. Like we wouldn't have to be like, hey, you eat this, I'll give you $5. You'd be like, hey, would you eat this? And you'd go, yeah.
Oh yes, I remember
That's how it
that.
started because I was eating chapstick and someone was like, "Oh, yeah, would you do this?" I'm like, "Sure."
Yeah.
I remember that.
It tastes like, and I can say this confidently because I've tasted both. It tastes like rubbing alcohol.
Oh, never had either, but I'll take your
smelled-
word.
I've never tasted. I've smelled
Well,
rub
I was
alcohol. It's
joking around
nasty.
with my dad one time, and I can't remember what it was. I ate something that I didn't like, and I was like, I need to wash my mouth out because like I can still taste it. And I was like, oh, this ought to do. Glug, 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 glug. Swished it around and spit it out.
Rubbing alcohol?
Yeah.
Ew.
Oh.
90%.
That's what they use to get
alcohol.
dogs to throw up. You get them to drink it, and then they'll throw up, so they eat something not supposed to.
I told him, I was like, damn, that tasted nasty. He's like, yeah, I don't know why you did that.
Now I have another nasty taste in my mouth. Chugs vodka. Just go back and
It
forth.
kind of tastes like vodka.
Oh.
And because it's just alcohol.
Well, yeah.
Like, that's all vodka.
Well, 98%.
Yeah.
The other 2% you don't want to know.
Yeah.
That's for the germs.
That's for the germs.
It's
to
just
know
straight
what you're
germs.
about.
Oh, all right. Next question for you, bud.
What do you do to keep yourself motivated? Do you have a ritual in the morning? Do you tell yourself something every day? You know, what do you do?
First thing I do is I wake up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Fun.
So no morning rituals here.
Right.
I work at 4:30 to 5 most days, so I sleep in. I work 4:30 to about 10:30 usually. So
Okay.
it's not actually that long, but I would say I would challenge anybody to work at a Casey's making pizza when you're. Last night I made 70 pizzas.
Whew.
Holy cow.
Because of the ball game.
Yeah.
And so I would challenge anybody to work at least a day in like a pizza joint or something and see how difficult it is. Because it's one of those things, it's not physically demanding, but you are hunched over all day over a pizza table.
Right.
Gets bad on the back.
Mm-hmm.
But I always tell myself, and this is weird because for a lot of people this wouldn't be motivational, but for me it helps keep me motivational. I tell myself, I say, no matter how bad it gets, you can always depend that it will get worse. And that, and in the sense, like, enjoy it now, embrace the suck, because it will get worse. It'll get better. You'll have good days. It could get better, could get worse.
Right.
But it's one of those things, I'm a bit of a pessimist. So if you think it's going to get worse and it gets better, bonus.
Right.
Yeah, so if you always have the mindset, oh, it's going to suck, and it turns out to be a good day, you're like, well, at least my hopes didn't get destroyed.
And you can always build off those bad days too. Like when I have a bad day at work, you know, I need to go into the work next day like, hey, maybe today's gonna be better. And if it's not, it's the next day. And then
And that's what I try to do. I'm like,
get through the week.
It's going to be worse. That's okay. It's getting into summer. That's our busy time. You know what? If it's bad, I'm ready for it. If it's good, hell yeah.
Yep.
That's what whenever I'm at work, I try not to look at my phone for the time or the clock. or the
Right, that
machine,
makes it go so
because
slow.
as soon as like I don't do it intentionally, but as soon as I get a glimpse of the time, then all day long I'm constantly looking, and it's like, oh,
Right.
feels like it's been an hour, but it's only been 20 minutes. Like,
Right.
damn.
Oh, every day,
That
dude.
is one of the good things about working somewhere that gets busy, though, is time flies.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what's
Like,
nice about summer.
You're like, man, I've only been here like 20 minutes. And then you look up, oh, I've been here for 2 hours. What?
Right. So, I'll ask you, Travis, how do you motivate yourself?
I motivate myself just to get up and make money, you know? Like, I don't get me wrong, I'd rather be at home and doing stuff that
Who wouldn't
I
be?
want to do
Right.
and not go to work every morning at the crack of dawn and don't get home till late as heck anyways.
Yeah.
But to motivate myself, I'm presented this opportunity to go out there and make good money and just do something actually I do like doing, and it's just that's what motivates me, because I could be doing something that I wouldn't think that's fun, like if I was like a trash man, I wouldn't like that job just because the smell of the trash. I'm sure you
Right.
acclimate to it, but that's something I wouldn't want to
They're
do.
hard workers too.
Yeah.
Like shout out to any trash man out
Yeah.
there.
I caught the trash man outside our house one time when I was going somewhere, and they were pulled up getting the trash. And I told him, I'm like, man, hey, you have a good day, man. I appreciate what you do. And he's like, thanks. I'm like, no offense, though, but I wouldn't want to do it. He's like, no, I get that, man.
Oh, it's like
They're
even
really chill people.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh,
like-
they're always so cool. And like the trash company we use
Yeah.
around the holidays when it's like cold and stuff, we always leave we'll leave
Yeah.
like snacks out, or when it's hot we'll leave like waters and whatnot for them to grab. And
And I'm not dodging on trash men or anything, trash crews,
No.
trash company, nothing.
Just someone's
It's
gotta do it.
Yeah, something I wouldn't personally want to do.
Yeah.
Like making pizzas. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't think I can make 70 pizzas standing up all day, bent over, throwing the same toppings on the same pizza, put them in the oven, box them up, slice them up, all day
It's
long.
one of those things, you get into a rhythm to do it. But absolutely, I don't want to dog on them either. I respect what they do. It's just, I could not do it.
Yeah.
And I respect them for that. 'Cause
Right.
That is something, no matter how bad my job is, in my opinion, I respect the people that work a worse job
right.
to
Yeah.
get money. Because it's like, you have to work.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, absolutely, if that's what you do, I respect you for making the hard choice and taking a job that isn't that savory to everybody else
Yeah.
and just doing it. That is
Right.
one of the more respectable things.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. And this is
What about you?
I just I actually have a quote on my phone every day. I look at it every day. It's every day you wake up, you have one job, and it's to be better than yesterday. And that's what I do.
That's a
Yeah.
good quote.
So like if I have a rough day at work, I always go into work the next day, try to be better than I was the day
And
before.
you know what Stackhouse always said, every day is an adventure, right?
Right.
Yeah. That's
Shout
what
out.
he's always said. Yeah.
Shout out Stackhouse.
God,
No,
I
it's-
spent so much time in his office. That one time, Drayden stabbed me with a pencil.
Yes, I remember
He
this.
didn't
Yes.
break skin or draw blood, but it was in Dorman's class.
Yeah, but I remember.
And I said, "Don't fucking do that." And I thought I was being quiet, but I'm loud.
Yeah.
So Dorman just looked at me like the class went silent. It was like a movie. And I looked up and I realized, and she's like, "I have to send you to the office for that." And I was like, "I understand, Dorman. You have a nice day." And I got my stuff and I left.
You just
And I-
accepted it. Like
Yeah.
he got there so often. He's like, oh, all right.
And I
I'll
told
get my
her,
bags.
I said, for the record, Norm, I apologize for that. I didn't mean to say it so loud, but I'm sorry. And she's like, it's okay. And I was like,
And you didn't rat him out. That's a W.
I did rat him out.
Oh
Himes. It was when Himes was the
Oh.
principal.
no, I mean in that situation though, you could be
Oh,
like,
yeah,
I
I
just
didn't-
got stabbed by Drayden, but
Yeah. But
Shout out
and
Drayden,
Himes,
though.
He was like, so why did you do that? And I was like, well, Drayden was messing with me, and I just wanted him to stop. So then Drayden got in trouble. Oh my God, Miss Blackwell came in, his mom.
Oh yeah.
I swear to God, I thought she was going to beat him up. She told me, and God, she comes into work all the time. I can't remember her name either. The lady that did ISS, but she did
Cammy
skits and
Smith?
stuff too. Yeah, Smith.
Kimmy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cammy
Cammy
Smith.
Smith. Yeah. Oh my God, I have a funny story about her too.
Oh gosh.
Blackwell told me and her, you guys didn't see anything, and I'm like, I'm blind.
Hey.
I took my glasses off. I was like, yep, you're right. So she came into work the other day to buy some pizzas. I'll try to be real quick about this. And I told her, I was like, hey, Miss Smith, I think I can save you $8 on your pizza because we got a deal going that Amelia didn't put on your pizzas. And I went back and I punched it in and I got her the deal. I was like, yeah, I saved you $8. She's like, oh, fuck yeah. And she wasn't quiet about it or nothing. She was like, hell yeah,
Hey,
man.
pizza's pizza, baby.
Saved $8.
Yeah.
That's
then,
awesome.
I was like, you know what? That's the kind of energy I want to have. Is where you $7-8. That's something you throw that down like it ain't nothing. That ain't, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But then when you save that much and just be that excited about, it, I'm like, that's the kind of energy I want to have.
Right. Nice. That's a great topic, Travis. Go ahead and ask him the last question of this
Alright.
segment.
Well, Brandon, I want to go ahead before we get to this last question. That this has been awesome for sure.
Yeah, for
Thank
real.
you for
It's been
coming
so
on.
good.
Like,
Especially after work. It
yeah,
means a lot.
and you came out. I mean, Brandon got here at 10 this morning, guys, and he don't wake up till 1 in the afternoon, anyways.
Shout out Brandon.
So
I
thank
woke
you
up
for
early
coming on
this.
for
Well,
sure.
I almost commented on the post with Miss Mueller's when I said that it was still the best watermelon I'd ever had.
Mm-hmm.
I almost wanted to say, guys, you got to have me on the podcast now. Like,
Well, we got requests after that too. Like, you should get Brandon on. You should get Brandon
Everyone
on.
has seen your comment there. Everyone was just lighting us up
ever
about
since
it.
that happened, I was like, man, I want to get on that podcast. And I was like, I gotta figure out how. And then like you messaged me, and I was like, oh my god,
This is it.
I'm in shock. This is it.
No, you after that episode, like literally, Jonna left, and me and Travis were like, Brandon would be such a good one, and like so and we've said it many times on the pod, so bear with us on this, but like we like our main goal was kind of just to rekindle friendships and kind of just get everyone back together. Like at some point we're gonna do one with a bunch of us together. It'd be really fun, but like. Someone commented, I'll shout out Nevaeh. She's like, you should get someone you guys aren't as close to and see how they're doing. And because, we all keep up through Facebook, social media and stuff. So, like, we really don't see you. I mean, I'm here. I work in Belton, so I'm never in Urich.
Yeah.
He's in Raymore. He works in the city, so he's never down. So, like, this is just nice, We appreciate you coming on.
I will
having
say,
really fun.
I was actually about to shout out Nevaeh because Nevaeh she's been watching since day
same.
one, and she always comments and tells us new ideas and the goods and bads.
We should get her on.
And that would be bad.
She wants to.
And the main thing is she kind of opened my eye because I thought to myself, man, she's right. We need to start opening up because we're just doing like
Our
people
friends.
that we were really close to.
Your brother.
Yeah, like
both of your brothers.
like we need to expand it out to
Right.
like I mean with teachers now we have a couple teachers lined up
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Good ones.
And I mean, I don't want to spoil it because they'll be good episodes, but I'll tell you off camera. But we have a couple teachers lined up. We're just waiting
I think
for
there's
schedules
a lot
to
of
free up.
teachers that would be really good on this podcast.
After Jonna, I knew once Jonna got on, it was gonna open up all the teachers and be like, oh, okay, maybe it's not
Right.
that
Well, that's
bad.
the thing, because that's what Jonna does. That's what's great about Jonna. All the teachers at Sherwood when we were there, I don't know about now because I don't know who teaches there. All of them were so cool, but Jonna was always above and beyond in every way.
Yeah.
There was nothing she didn't do 100%. And the thing about it is, I still call her Miss Mueller when I see her, but here I can say Jonna.
It's hard. It's hard to call her Jonna.
Yeah,
Like, we've had her for 4 years, and, she's just, like,
and it's like,
ingrained.
she's always been the one. If you get her on board with something, everybody else will
Oh, yeah.
because she was the one. She brought that energy. It was like, oh, Miss Mueller's doing it. 100%, I'll get on it. Like, yeah, she's loved by everybody.
Yeah.
It's funny because, like, every time we're like, oh, yeah, we have this idea, and I think we're going to do it. And they're going to be like, oh, who's helping you out with this? I'm like, Jonna. I'm like, okay, yeah, we're in.
Yeah.
Like, we're in.
Well, it's
She
like
made
the,
everything possible.
The senior dance and stuff, that was all her that made that happen. pretty
Right.
much. We did it in her classroom after school practice and stuff. And then she orchestrated it and everything with Himes' permission. Like, Himes got on it.
Yeah, Himes was always so
because-
supportive of our ideas with her. And
Oh, yeah. Himes, shout out to Himes, by the way. I didn't always get along with him. I didn't always like him. But bottom line, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people, I'm never a huge fan of the person who's in charge
The
of getting me
punishing.
in trouble.
Yeah.
And the thing is he was always there for everything.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And like when we were doing play and stuff, we had Himes was one of the first high school principals to actually go to a play, watch it, and then afterwards is like, yeah, we got to do more of this. This was awesome.
Right.
And it was like, I wish I would have gotten to play sooner because that was like the people there. I'm still friends with some of the people there. But some of the coolest people were the people that were in 8th grade doing the play.
Yeah.
And it was like, there was like people like, I don't know if you know her, but Jazzy, she was this little middle schooler. She's in high school now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and she was always good energy. There
Yeah.
was like an Ashley there. She was awesome. She lives in Urich. If I see her, I'm like, hey, how you doing?
Oh,
Are you
good.
in the play this year?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I remember.
And your cousins do it too, right? Jim's kids?
Yeah, Keely and Shaylee.
Yeah, they both are in them.
Oh yeah, Shaylee Matson.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was awesome too. Oh my God, she was always cool.
She's a senior. She graduates this year.
Holy crap!
It's crazy.
I know.
How the time flies,
Dude,
man.
we've been out of high school for what, 4 years?
4
now?
years.
Yeah, it's like
That's crazy.
And the craziest thing about it is, it feels like it hasn't been that long. All the time, when
No.
people ask when I graduated, I have to think, and then I'm like, oh my God, that was 4 years ago.
Right.
I've been out of school for 4 years. I'm 22, and I feel like I could walk right back into Sherwood and go to class.
Go to class, right?
It's weird if you think about it, because like COVID, that was a huge like pandemic. It's just I don't remember anything. It was a blur. It was just like it's kind of like a blur. Think about anything. I remember we got sent home
And never came back.
never came back, and we had to wear masks for like
About
a year or
so
whatever,
before
yeah.
they dropped the restrictions.
That first year of college sucked.
Yeah,
My face was always so hot and I was breaking out.
All right, let's get back on.
All right, back on topic. Sorry, we got one more question.
If you could tell our listeners one thing, what would it be?
I think I would say that if I was going to tell them one thing, it's kind of generic, but I would say never settle for less than what you're worth.
Okay.
Because from what I've done since high school and what I did in high school, I settled a lot. Because, like, when I was a little kid in, like, elementary, like, they were telling my mom stuff like how I had, like, a high IQ and I was, like, really smart and this and that. And then by the time I got to middle school, it was funny because we were doing IXL one day in math.
IXL.
And
I didn't excel.
I intentionally made Logan Carter get the wrong answer on a question. And then in revenge, he did it to me twice. And I don't know why, but that just shut me down for math. It was over.
I hate math.
And it was like, I settled for less than what I could do.
Yeah.
And that's another thing Jonna did. She always saw the best in people on that kind of stuff. And then in high school, I failed a geometry class because I'd always score well on the tests, but I never did the homework.
Yeah.
Right.
Not even a single question. And then when I got to it in senior year in Miss Cantrell's class, I actually struggled with it because I didn't remember anything. But then Miss Cantrell was always there, like, hey, this is how you do that. I'd go to her during homeroom sometime, be like, hey, how do I do this question? And she'd all put it on the whiteboard and help you solve it. Okay, what do I do next? And she'd ask you that. She'd be like, okay, where do I go from here with this problem? And if you got the wrong answer, she'd be like, not quite. This is what you do. And so that's why my advice is don't settle for less than what you're worth. Because a lot of people, even if they have a good sense of their self-worth, a lot of people don't know what they're capable of.
Right. Definitely.
I will say, after today's podcast, Brandon, I think I'm actually gonna look at life a little differently and go by the quote, "Embrace the suck." That's,
Right.
I mean, that's a really good saying. Like,
I live by embrace the suck.
life's
Right.
gonna suck. Just embrace it. You know, you have your good days, you have your bad days. You gotta have those days anyways. So
Whose
embrace
quote
it.
was that? Was that Dombaugh?
No, that's
That was
David Goggins.
Yeah.
I
But
believe.
But who said it all the time?
I think Dombaugh
Was
said
it Dombaugh or Lake?
I don't remember. But
I didn't know Lake that well, but he was pretty cool.
Nope.
But
Remember
David-
the first thing? Real quick, sorry, off topic. The first thing every day in weights class.
Oh my god, what was it? Oh yeah. I'd say at the time, I'd be like, swole is the goal, size is the prize. It's games o'clock, my brothers and sisters.
You'd always go,
let's go.
Go, brothers and sisters, let's go.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. I'm like, my brothers and sisters. You're right. I forgot about that.
That was awesome.
And that came from, that's like a,
It was that
I
guy,
know
that
who it is.
meathead
I think
guy.
it goes by Frank or
Frank,
something.
yeah, Frank something, yeah.
Yeah, he
He's in his
always
car.
does like the funny ones, like today we do arms because if you want a lady doing this or that, you
Yes,
gotta be effing swole.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would. Lake would show us those all the time.
Yeah.
That guy's cool. But that's what I got it from because he'd do like, it's games o'clock, mother effers, let's go.
Yeah.
And then I started doing it.
Yeah, you would do it so good though, because like it was like that would get me so hyped, especially on max days or
And
max
one
weeks.
day, Ethan Arthurs always wore that really tight tank top.
Yeah.
And he's like half my size, and it was tight on him. Then I
I remember that. Well, I will say real quick before we get into the hypothetical question of the week. We were maxing out one time. I remember this vividly. You were squatting, and I don't know the weight exactly you had on it, but you failed. But you didn't fail because you fell to your knees because it was so heavy what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then he
I got
stood
all
And you
that up.
stand back up with the bar on your back after you've already been on your knees. Like you do like a lunge to get it. Well,
It
you
was
counted
sick.
it because
was
you.
so sick.
Yeah, it was. That was because the reason I was able to do that is because I loved doing lunges. Everybody hated lunges, but that was like something I did that before I knew it was an exercise. As like a kid, I'd like do like stupid walks and stuff, and then like that's what I do. I do like a lunge while I was walking.
Yeah.
So I was always good at that. It was the same thing as but triceps I was really good at because that was another thing. I just do that for fun, and then they're like, oh yeah, that's an exercise. I'm like, what?
Word? What isn't an exercise?
All right, everyone. Well, that was 5 real questions, 5 real answers with 3 real people. And we're going to move on to our everyone's second favorite, what's that word?
Segment?
Thanks, Travis. The hypothetical question of the week. So, Brandon, we're going to start with you, bud. So, what would you teach if you had no choice but to teach?
I think what I would love to teach is I would love to do something with literature and writing, because Schlichter and Mueller were some of my favorite teachers in high school, and I respected what they did, the way they worked with everybody.
Yeah.
There were some people that made it to high school that could, I don't know if they did it on purpose, they might have, but they would like struggle with reading properly. And then Miss Mueller, she went back to the very basics of everything, no matter what. It could be, oh, you don't know how apostrophes work?
Yeah.
Don't worry, I got you. You want to know the proper time to use a hyphen? I got you.
Yeah.
And it was like, I love that energy, and I think reading and writing is one of those things that people don't appreciate anymore. You know, we've got like audiobooks and TikTok and stuff like that.
Yeah,
where
yeah.
You can go.
No
figure
one
this stuff
reads
out.
anymore. I mean, there's a lot.
I'm a victim to. I say victim. I'm bad about it. I don't read anymore that much.
I never really read
But-
in school, let alone once I graduated. I haven't touched a book. I mean, I barely even touched a book in college.
Yeah, and it feels that way. Like I don't feel like I've read anything meaningful since high school.
Yeah.
And it's like, I want to be able to bring that energy back to reading and writing, because like I said, I'm bad about it too. And I loved reading in school. That was 90% of the time I'd rush through my work and read my book.
Yeah.
And it's like, so I've kind of fallen prey to that as well. But that's why I think we need amazing literature teachers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't think people appreciate it as much as they should anymore, myself included, again. But I just feel like that's what we need, is more people who can read and think critically on what they've read and understand the underlying themes to gain a higher understanding.
Right.
So you know how like on audiobooks, it's normally like a robot that will read it.
Or
What you could do, because you want to get into writing books, you should record your own audio and give it like the actual tone and the setting of the book.
I've thought about trying to do that. I really wanted to get into that, but the problem is we have dogs and animals and loud stuff going on all the time. I don't have a good place to record that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I always thought if I ever get into like YouTube or something, what I'd really want to do is get like a mic or something, like a good high quality mic, and then just record audiobooks and stuff.
Right.
Okay.
Because I think that a lot of people, now I know I just kind of bashed audiobooks a little bit. I said people listen to too many, but I don't want to underscore that listening to an audiobook is better than never engaging in literature.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a very important distinction. It's not my preferred way to do it, but if that is the way some people do it, maybe they do struggle with reading, maybe there's words they don't know how to pronounce or something, then I think 100% an audiobook is better than nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Bottom line. It's
For
a
sure.
book.
For sure.
And I think that it's very important that people should, one way or another, if it's audiobooks, reading it yourself, just discussing it with other people, I think that it's very important that people get back into literature, one way or another.
For sure.
What about you, buddy? What's something you would teach if you had to teach?
Well, I went to school for 2 years and got my associates for agriculture, so I'm just going to say agriculture. I mean, it's a big...
That's another one of them that's really important.
Oh, for sure.
A lot of people don't know anything about the ag industry, and a lot of those people have a lot of opinions that are wrong.
Yes.
And it's like, I don't hate you for having that opinion, but I wish...
Your opinion makes no sense.
Yeah, your opinion makes no sense, and I wish you had somebody like Dorm or Kirchhoff
Right.
to tell you about this.
Just show you. Like,
And I see Dorm all the time at Casey's too, because she lives in Urick, or I think she still does. I've seen Kirchhoff a couple times, and that's what's amazing when you get out of high school, like a good high school like Sherwood. You know, we might not have had the most money, but we had a fucking community.
for sure.
And it's like
Always.
anytime I see somebody that was there, I'm like, hey, what's up? And they're like, hey, how you doing? You know, you engage in that conversation. And I think that's what a lot of people need to do.
Oh, for sure.
They don't want to engage in conversation about the stuff they don't understand or don't agree with. But we learned so much about ag because they were so passionate about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what made me make my decision. You know, I wanted to be a teacher really bad, and I couldn't decide. And then, like, I realized, you know, ag has done so much for my life and opened my eyes to so many things. Like, no, I didn't grow up on a farm, but, like, you know, my grandpa has a farm in Nebraska, my uncle has a farm in Nebraska, so I've been around that a few times. But it's just so important for people to know, you know, where your food's coming from.
Yeah.
You're not getting this if they're not doing it.
Yeah.
Like, everything comes from a farm.
Yeah.
I think the biggest issue with it is a lot of people think that farmers make a lot of money.
They're, yeah.
And I was talking to, so I went to with Maxwell to get his bike checked out by this guy named Mikey Bumgardner in Europe.
Yeah.
You probably know him.
Yeah.
Race car guy.
Yeah.
Super cool.
And he was talking with, oh crap. It's a farmer out there, and I think he's like, I don't think he's related to Catfish, but I think his last name is like Ayler or Tyler or something like that.
Okay.
And he was talking about it with Mikey, how a lot of it isn't really making money. It is shifting back and forth between what you owe and getting money to pay it off. And I think a lot of people underestimate that because they think farmers make a lot of money, so they think it's an easy job.
Well, based off the farm equipment, I mean, do you know any of the farm equipment prices? Like, there's tractors that go for $800,000, $500,000, and like for John Deere tractors, especially the newer ones, farmers can't get into the system on their tractor to diagnose what's wrong with it. They have to call someone from John Deere, which is effectively, you know, they have to pay someone.
Yeah, just
they
to
have
come out
to
and tell them what's wrong.
They have to wait. So, like, there's a whole thing I watched. There was a documentary about it on YouTube where, what was it? This guy ended up basically hacking the system where he has his own computer. He can plug it in, and he just goes and does it for other farmers.
Yeah, because John Deere's really bad about that, actually, is the right to repair, I think it is. You cannot repair your stuff without John Deere, basically.
It's basically like Tesla.
Yeah, and it's like you have to go to a special place or have them come to you, and it's one of those things. You know, there's all these loopholes and legal loopholes that you have to jump through in order to get anything done on a farm, including just maintaining your tractors.
Oh, for sure.
Because it's like, you know, I drive a 2001 Ford F-150. It's parked right up front. I'm sure you saw it.
Yeah.
And the amazing thing about it is I can do whatever I want with that.
Yeah.
I can put a different engine in it. I can change the oil. I can do this. It's all simple. And tractors, they kind of follow the same concept, though. You've got to maintain them.
Right.
But when you have something like John Deere where you have to go through them, it makes it so much harder.
Right. And the big thing with farmers is time. You know, they don't have all that time to stop their production. They don't have all that time to wait for somebody. So, like, they got to, you know, keep going. And if you only have one good tractor, oh, Dale.
Then there's only so much you can do.
Right.
Like that one guy I was just talking about in Urick, he's told me before, he wakes up at 4 a.m. to do farm stuff, go, like, you know, feed his cattle and stuff.
Check cattle,
and then
feed
he
them.
goes to a full-time job.
Yeah.
And then comes home at night, does everything else to, like, prepare for the night, you know, goes out, feeds them again, make sure they got water, this, that. He's a cattle farmer, not like a farmer,
like grain or
anything.
whatever.
Agricultural farmer. No.
It's like grain. So, like, he's...
Crop. He's
not crop farmer.
Thank
There
you.
you
That's
go.
what I was looking for. And, like, he maintains them and a full-time job just to keep himself above water.
Yeah.
And it's like a lot of people think that they make a lot of money, and that's one of the most harmful stereotypes for it, is because they're like, oh, they don't need help. They can hire somebody else. They've got all this money. No, they've got debt.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really how you farm. You gotta collect all this debt. You gotta get your tractors. You gotta have the land.
You gotta
it's
make sure your
always
animals aren't dying.
Yeah.
It's always a battle against your debt to keep yourself going. And I think that it's another thing. We don't have as many great agricultural teachers anymore. You know, Missouri's a pretty agricultural state. Sherwood, I mean, a bunch of the people there are farmers.
Yep.
And it's like, that's why I think it works so well having people like Dorman Kirchhoff, because they understand
Yeah.
Right.
how it works.
It is. I mean, like I remember, Tucker. He's always like, Tucker Gudenkauf.
Yeah.
I'd hang out with him, and he's like, "Oh, I gotta go do this. I gotta go do this." And actually, I have a kid that's still in high school, Mason Smith. Shout out. He's posting at like 10 o'clock at night, and then he's at school the next, like posting 10 o'clock,
yeah,
11 o'clock,
out in the field,
checking
and stuff,
cows,
yeah.
or he's at the sale barn. I really don't know, but he's just working. And
Yeah.
shout out to that guy. And people, and then like, I mean, that's a
A lot of
bright
late nights,
future.
a lot of early mornings.
Yep.
How about you, Travis? If you had to teach one thing, you had no choice
But to teach, what would it be?
I'd have to go into like health, like the weightlifting perspective, but also keeping your body in great shape and maintain your wealth, or not your wealth, your health, I guess.
Yeah.
Because
Well, you got to maintain your wealth to
Yeah.
maintain your health.
Yeah.
And you got to maintain your health to maintain your wealth.
Well,
Amen.
I picked that for a good amount of reasons. For like me, I sit in a machine all day, and if I'm not stretching my knees and stuff, it takes a toll sitting down
for
all
sure.
day. But along the lines like Brandon, you make pizza, you stand all day, you're
Yeah.
hunched over. If you're not taking the right precautions of giving, even though you don't want to take time out of your day to stretch, because that does get annoying. But if you're like, even stretching for 5 minutes a day will extend the life of your knees before your knees you have to get surgery or something. Like
Right.
it really, stretching does help, and just having the common knowledge of different things that
Yeah, like
how your
what
body
stretches to
works,
do
and like your health as well, like immunity and what to do when you're sick, and just taking proper care of your body is
Yeah.
what
Right.
what I'd have to go into.
Because that's what you were going to college for, right? Was
Yeah.
physical education and
Yeah.
health. Gotcha.
Well,
Great choices, everybody. I think we do if we'd have to teach. So we're going to try this again. Everyone, let us know what's one thing you'd like to teach if you had to. It could happen. You never know. Teacher shortage.
Yeah, there is one.
yep.
Because a lot of teachers, they don't make as much as they should to put up with
No.
the BS they have to put up
Oh,
with.
for sure.
It's like I was telling you before the podcast with Miss Mueller and having disrespect from students.
Oh,
And that was something I didn't say because I got off track. I'm not going to go into details of what happened for privacy reasons.
right.
But like what we were talking about, the kid that like made her cry and stuff, it's like when you guys and me were in school, like that would be a death sentence.
Yeah, don't.
And that's what I was going with about never seeing a fight. Is I genuinely believe if somebody did that to Miss Mueller while we were in school, like it would have been.
There's going to be problems.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that could be with any teacher, though. Honestly, like if someone disrespected anyone in the sense that we talked about, it just wouldn't have been good. And especially, I mean, I know
I think
probably
a lot
the principal and
a lot of
uppers
students
did,
would
but
stand up more, I think.
oh, I bet you
Compared
one of us.
to like Lee Summit, like in Lee Summit, I'm sure that happens
It's
all the time.
normal.
They're like,
It's every day.
Whatever.
Yeah, those inner city schools, it's just it gets terrible there because
Right.
nobody wants to teach there because no offense, but some of the kids are terrible, not all of them. But
Right. And it's just if any of us were in that class, I bet you one of us would have.
I mean,
Took care of
them
it.
Furries going in there. That's the real problem.
Litter boxes in the bathroom.
I actually heard about that. One of our
rival schools. We won't get into that for
not
this
get into
episode.
that.
No, we will get into it when we have one of those.
That's
on.
why Sherwood stays winning even when we're losing.
Hell yeah.
All right, Brandon.
We appreciate you for coming on. Out of your busy day, we know you work today, so we appreciate you coming in early. Anything you'd like to ask us or say before we wrap things up?
I would just like to say I haven't watched a lot of the podcast. Like I said, I kind of started when someone told me that Miss Mueller was on, and they're like, oh yeah, they mentioned you and it was a riot, and I was like, man, I gotta watch this. But I don't watch a lot of podcasts, but if I have the time, I would like to add this podcast to the very, very short list of podcasts that
Hell
I
yeah.
keep up with
Hell yeah.
because like it's one of those things I didn't necessarily know what all you guys did on the podcast, but I think that it's really cool what you guys are doing,
Awesome.
kind of keeping people together and stuff like that. And like I said before, depending on where it is, it might be a little bit far for me to drive to. But if you ever have like groups of people on, like you guys are wanting to, then I would love to come back sometime and reconnect.
Oh, of course.
With people
Of course.
because it's one of those things. It's amazing to kind of feed that community together and keep it going, because we were a really close-knit group in high school.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that it's very important to keep up your community, because you just don't make friends anymore like you did in high school.
Nope.
No.
You know, when you're with people for 12 years, they're your friend one way or another.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, out in the world, it's a lot harder to build a community. So I think it's really cool that you guys are kind of helping keep a community built up.
For sure. We appreciate that. That's
Yeah, thank you. That means a lot.
Yeah, that does.
I will say that's a common thing. A lot of our guests had told us that they think it's really cool of what we're doing, just reconnecting everyone and just having fun and talking about memories and reminiscing a little bit.
Right.
It's one of those things. I would have never expected someone from our class to start something like this, but like now that it has started, I'm kind of like, yeah, you know what? That makes sense. That's completely like, absolutely, people should do that.
right.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think it'd be great if you started a podcast, because, like, it's really, me and Travis jumped into this with zero experience. These mics, $40.
Yeah.
This $20. I mean, I already had the computer, but you can use any computer. But, like, you know, just, I feel like you would have such a powerful and funny podcast. Like, you have so many opinions, and I think you would get so many people. So if you would ever want to do that, if you had the time, we would help you. I would help you. It's so easy.
Just be me in like in a basement and be like, look, guys, this is what we need to do.
What are we doing right now? We're in the basement. All right. Well, thank you again, Brandon. Appreciate the kind words and the great content we had today. Thank you all for tuning in for another episode of Lunch Table Podcast. We will see you next week.
Cool. I'll see you at Casey's.
Watch you walk away. The stars are falling right in place. I'll watch you walk away. You stole my heart from inside of me.